saying that I haven't done a video in a long time. So I'm no I don't even have a topic. So I thought about it and I come introducing my bells. So I have no idea how this is gonna go. These are called gungaroos. These are usually used in the Eastern traditional dance forms. Some form of gungaru or bell or salama it's called is used. In Bharatanatyam, in Kathak, in Kandyan and Sabaragamu, almost all Eastern dance forms use some sort of a wind instrument that is powered by your footwork. And it is usually given to the student by a teacher. I think now you purchase it, but traditionally it is given by the teacher to the student. Once they know, their footwork is muscle memory. The footwork is, you're not still trying to coordinate your foot with the brain. It doesn't come naturally to you. So because you will make mistakes in this footwork. And there's really good reason for it. Because this sound, and also some bells, hertz wise, they have different hertz, but usually it goes on the 432, the healing frequency. And so this is given to them after their footwork is perfect, because it creates a vibration, it creates a sound, and that sound cannot disturb the natural sound vibration of the earth. Because if you start Bharatanatyam, you have your opening namaskaram with the opening stance, where it's a 10-second dealing with the earth by getting her permission and thanking her for this, for enduring this thudding that is going to come, and also for Mother Earth to enjoy the creation that this human is going to do. So I'm going to quickly wear this and show you so that you will know what I'm talking about. So this is what it would do. You can hear the sound. This is what it would sound like, represent with your footwork. Now, this is not worn for aesthetic purposes. It has purpose behind it. It has reason behind it. That is why it's a revered piece of apparatus in the form of dance. It is not worn for its beauty. It is not worn. So that is why the footwork is very important, because if you make unnecessary sounds with this is to begin with, it's really annoying for your sound, and it disturbs your vibration. If you have been to gong baths, you know this. Sometimes you can't even sit in a gong bath because the vibration is so different to yours. It almost gives you a headache. This has a very, very, very similar purpose. So for an example, I told you we would have an opening stance in any form of dance. I'm talking about Bharatanatyam today. So the connection, thanking and taking permission from Mother Earth. Very quickly I'm going to make you hear the sound of this. If you take Natada, a step of Bharatanatyam. So that would be the sound, and you would hear the melody that it creates. Now that's in the dance form. Now when we talk about, when if you have been to a Shakti workshop, I talk about anklets when we talk about Kama Sutra. It's an interesting concept. So you would have the gunguru with a lot of bells and with severe sound, and then you would also have the anklets that the women wear in the East, which always came with a bell. And the most interesting thing was the bell, the chime of it differed. If a young girl, if a small child was wearing it, it was a very slight bell sound because they were always running. You know what I mean? And older women wore bells with more bass. So can you imagine the household? It's always like a symphony. But dance has a special place because wind instruments, it it immediately creates a different mental state. If you take a gong, if you take a singing bowl, the quality of air, because it is so close to ether, because in the scale of elements, when you're on a spiritual journey, you are usually of earth, water and fire. And if you are a vata body constitution, you're not vata as in vata that is close to ether. You're not air that is close to ether, but you're air that is dense, even if your body constitution is of vata. So you're of the most denser elements, and as as you lose certain attachments and emotions and patterns, your energies get lighter and lighter and lighter. What you're trying to achieve almost all the time, not almost all the time, is ether. Because that is what in your yoga poses, that's what the pose is. You try to create space, you try to create space inside this frame. And when you're meditating, you bring your thought process, your brain waves to from a busy alpha to to come down, so that you have time. In the Vedas it says enlightenment is the pause between the thought. It's just a saying, you know what I mean, it is in the Vedas. So in this element chart, it is always about ether. So air, wind instruments, it is of a high plane when it comes to the elemental scale. So that is why in healing, shamans, they always use bells. Any Eastern tradition that talks about healing, that talks about high planes, that is talking about not so mundane stuff, always have the air element ascending to ether, which is really interesting. Now, one advice: if you don't know what you're doing, do not get yourself a set of gungurus, but get yourself an anklet with a bell. That doesn't create. It's really good. This constant chick noise. I told you about this. I'll quickly add the significance in anklets with bells in Kama Sutra. They talk about, it is about, Kama Sutra is about relationships, a significant relationship. And in this they talk about how you are involved with all your 6 senses with your partner. And one of that is this, and it plays at the level of consciousness here, yeah. And they talk about a woman's anklet. They talk about the smell of a woman. That is one sense. So we talk about the oil and all of that. That is gone to that is put on the body. But then when it comes to sound, they talk about the anklet. They talk about the woman's voice, and then they talk about the anklet. The anklet with a bell. When a woman is always in the house, she's doing her thing, she's walking up and down, there is this constant chick, 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 the sound of the bell, right? This is etched in a man's consciousness. So it is one aspect when he doesn't hear the woman in the house, he starts missing her and he doesn't even know why he's missing her. And then one aspect of that is that constant that is so etched in the consciousness is not there. These are little interesting connections that you find, because I always say the Eastern form, especially the yogic, the householders' yogic way of living was total involvement in life. They were involved in living. Now today, most of us are not involved in living. We are involved in looking at other people's lives and constant news, and if nothing is happening, Netflix. But before people were involved, they were involved in growing their own food, they were involved in their cooking, they were involved in mastering their body, and they were involved in their relationship. This was a continuous thing. So I find it interesting that even an anklet has to play a part in a relationship. And it's interesting because when the Eastern poetry and songs, especially the older ones, when they always talk about the sound of a woman's anklet when in love songs. Uh, it's also good for depression. The sound of bells, when you talk about in sound healing, they talk about that constant boredom of the mind, how the sound of a bell is really good for that. So any type of bell, wind chimes, and get yourself an anklet. And